Greetings, friends. Tonight's Samhain episode is about magic. But before I start, I want to put out some disclaimers. Lots of people have really strong feelings about whether or not magic exists, whether it's real or not, and whether it's evil or not. And I'm not an expert I'm obviously not an expert in witchcraft. I'm not an expert in Druidry. So I'm just going to talk about my beliefs about magic. And you are free to disagree with me, agree with me if you'd like. Be happy if you subscribed and then made a comment. But I'm not claiming to be any authority on the topic. It's one of the things that always comes up in Samhain season. So, let's talk about it. So, do I think that magic is real? Yes, I do think magic is real. If it weren't real, why would churches and religious communities be so against it? Right? Why would they be so against it if it weren't real? If it weren't something that you had to worry about, nobody would worry about it. They'd be like, well, that's baloney, and off we'd go, right? But there's been so much attention over the course of human history about magic. And I did a little bit of research in these 12 weeks of sitting here. And one of the interesting things that I read, and I don't remember where I read it, was that one of the reasons that the church really clamped down on the view of magic and making magic evil was because they didn't want people to confuse magic with what happened when Jesus rose 3 days after his death on the cross. They didn't want people to think that was magic. But in more research, I read that Moses had some books, two other books, the books of Moses, and talk about magic. And that magic, goes back to before the Christian era. And, and magic is talked about in lots of different cultures. So, do I think magic is real? Yes, I do. Do I think that, do I practice magic? No, I do not. Do I think I should practice magic? No, I do not. Why? Because magic is a power that you get from the other world, right? You get it, whether you believe in it or not, that's up to you. But if you believe in it, it is power that comes from the other world. And I don't know that we have the tools on this side to handle the power of magic. And so it would be irresponsible and careless of us to dabble in things that we don't have a full understanding of. I also think that spirit in my tradition, in the Christian tradition, Jesus, God, they are all I need to be successful in this world. I don't need to manipulate this world with magic because God has a plan for us, and that plan is a divine plan. And whether you believe in reincarnation and that we come back each life to learn new things, or whether you believe in just one life, our plan is directed by God. And magic puts that into our hands. Now, you could say that magic is designed by God and given to humans, men and women, as a tool. Fair enough. I'd accept that argument. But I just don't feel that, I go back to point A, which is I just don't feel like we have all of the necessary knowledge to handle such a powerful tool. At least I feel I don't, right? So I don't know a lot about spells. I don't know anything really about spells. I've watched one or two on YouTube just to kind of see, kind of how they're done. And really, like in anything else, it seems that magic and at least the witchcraft tradition, the Druid tradition, usually deals with intent first, right? And then you have to think about intent, right? Like, let's say you do a love spell, right? Let's say that's the thing that you do. You really want somebody to love you. And let's say you do that spell and then it comes true. Like, do you want somebody to love you because a spell was cast, or do you want them to love you because they came to that in their own search for truth? My British grandmother used to say, be careful what you wish for. And I feel like, would I love to cast some spell so that I'd be a millionaire and get, a brand new Jeep? Sure, if I could whip that up, but that just doesn't seem fair or legit or right. Like, it doesn't seem It doesn't seem like that's the way to go about getting a Rubicon, which is my favorite Jeep ever. So I think magic is one of those touchy subjects because a lot of people are like, well, magic is bullshit. It's not even a thing. Well, then ask yourself, why do you care so much whether people practice it or not? Why do you, like, shy away from it? Why do why do your feathers get ruffled when people talk about it? I mean, I think there is legitimate magic out there. I just don't think that I'm enabled in any special way to handle magic. So I don't dabble in it because I think that all I need comes from God, comes from the source. So I don't feel like I need to manipulate the other world in combination with this world. That doesn't mean I judge people who do magic. It doesn't mean that that I'm against people who do it. It's everybody's right, so long as it doesn't harm others. And I know the Druids that practice magic, and I believe witches that practice magic kind of have a do no harm sort of philosophy. And of course, there are always people who behave beyond the rules. But I think in general, in the different traditions, I think there is some kind of rule about doing no harm. So anyway, that's my spin. This is a short one tonight because I was making apple butter with my family. I was stirring a cauldron today, but there was apple butter inside, not magic. So that's just my take for this particular episode of the Samhain series about magic. And I'd love to hear your thoughts below and what you think about it. All right, be well. Wishing you all the very best in light and love. Bye-bye.